1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, so here we get about 5 minutes to walk through the course before we shoot it and just kind of plan on when you're gonna hit what targets and when you're gonna reload and things like that. And so this is what I was doing here. And I was super nervous, but I was like, you know, because it was my first stage, but I was like, okay, if I have a good plan, then I'll just kind of go into autopilot and I'll shoot the targets and everything will be fine. Bang, 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 bang. Bang, 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 bang. I think that's it.
Shoot already.
So here I'm feeling nervous, but focused, ready to go. And then...
Seat the mag.
All right, so what's happening here? So basically the Glock is a little temperamental with how hard you have to slam the magazine into the mag well when the slide is closed. And so here you can see what I did, which looked, you know, firm enough, but in reality, the mag just wasn't quite seated, and so the round didn't load into the chamber when I racked the slide. And once I got that sorted, I was off to the races. At least it looks like I was, but in my mind, it was completely blank. Everything I prepared for earlier for this course was completely gone because of the issue I had at the start. So I had no idea what to shoot, where to go. Super nervous, just, you know, I think I failed to address at least one target here, but overall it was like extremely sloppy and got me feeling pretty discouraged. It's kind of a discouraging start to the day, but fortunately it did get better from here.
All right.
This is the kind of event where everybody kind of helps out throughout the day, and one of the ways we did that was patching holes in targets with this sort of brown colored tape here so that the next person's shots could be seen through the mangled cardboard.
Shoot it right.
This stage was a little weird because you had to shoot 6 shots into the target on the left, target number 1, and then you had to do a mandatory reload. And then you had to shoot 6 shots into the target on the right, target 3, with your strong hand. Fortunately, there wasn't any running around or moving in this stage, which kind of helped me focus a little bit. And then you reset like you're doing a whole new stage. So they do a whole new beeper and a whole new time and everything.
Shooter ready. Stand by.
And then the second half of this stage is 3 shots into the target, a mandatory reload, which I kind of forgot about. Then we had to take 3 shots with the weak hand.
Stand by.
This stage was pretty standard. I kind of like realized that I wasn't going to be really fast today, so I decided to just commit to going slow and making sure I hit every target and making sure I follow sort of the, you know, what felt like an optimal path through the course, and making sure my reloads were clean and things like that. And once I kind of decided that I wasn't going to be like good at this on my first try, it was a lot easier to calm down and manage the nerves and just kind of get through the stage and have fun.
If you're done, unload and show clear. Hammer down. Holster. Good. Shooter ready. Stand by.
This stage was interesting because it has an element that I hadn't seen before. I'd seen it in videos, but I'd never actually seen it in a stage. Basically, you shoot this little steel here, and then these 2 cardboard targets start waving around, and they come into view, and then they go out of view, and they're just like it's not hard enough with the targets standing still, you know?
Shooter ready. Stand by.
This stage is a great example of what happens psychologically when you start missing. So there's these little tiny square steels that I'm shooting at down there. And my goodness, I just could not hit it for some reason. So I kind of passed up on that one. I thought, maybe I'll come back and get it later, or maybe I'll just skip it. So here on the left side, you see two more of those little squares way out there, little steel squares. And yeah, I couldn't hit these either. I was just missing up and to the left a little bit. So I was pulling it a little, and I was trying to compensate for that. And I just kept working my way into more and more of a pattern of missing. So I finally got that one. But the next one, I just stood around and took 4 or 5 more shots at it or something. And, I kind of didn't think in my head at this point, how much of a race this sport is. Like it's time is important, and I should have just kept going and skipped it and maybe come back to it at the end or something like that. But in my head, I'm like, I have to hit this thing, So yeah, total rookie mistake, but yeah, lesson learned. And I did go back afterward and try to hit that steel. Unfortunately, I was able to get it.
84-24.
This first target's kind of cheeky because it like peeks out behind the barrels. You can only kind of see half of it. But I kind of like this stage. I like how it flows, and there's some good variety to it too. There's this little port here that you can shoot through, which is kind of creative. And yeah, I was kind of worried at this point because I knew that right after this there were these 2 little steels, and I was still feeling the pain from the last stage. So fortunately, I got over my accuracy issues and knocked those over pretty quick.
Right, if you are finished, unload and show clear.
And the last stage of the day, it was kind of okay. I like the variety on this one as well, but yeah, I didn't feel particularly strong here. I was missing this, what they call a popper, more times than I should have, but figured I'd take the opportunity to reload here and give this swingy boy a try. And then, of course, more little square steels over there, and yeah, I was doing all right. I missed a couple of times, but ended up getting them in somewhat short order. I had at this point taken like way too many shots though, so as you can see, I ran out of bullets there at the end, so I had to do a reload, which of course takes a lot of time. So not an optimal way to finish out the day, but overall a really cool experience, and yeah, way better than going to the range and just like basically shooting money. This at least you get some fun and competitiveness and sport out of it. So definitely something I'm looking forward to doing again.